Hello students, I am Sai Baba here. So in the previous session, I have completed discussion of the solutions for the questions in the assignment in expansion of solids and liquids up to question number 51. So I have completed discussion of solutions of the questions up to question number 51 in the assignment in expansion of solids and liquids. So now I am going to complete the discussion of the solutions for the questions 52 to question number 52 to question number 60 in this session. Come on, look at the question number 52 on the screen. A solid whose volume does not change with temperature floats in a liquid at two different temperatures T1 and T2 of the liquid. Fraction of the volume of solid remain submerged or F1 and F2 respectively. The question of absolute expansion of the liquid is equal to. So you have to find the answer in terms of F1, F2 and T1, T2. So if a solid floats in a liquid, as you study in the fluid, mechanical properties of fluids, that is Archimedes principle or law of flotation. Mass of the liquid displaced for a floating body, you can write, if a body floats in the liquid in equilibrium, then mass of the floating body is equal to mass of the liquid displaced by the body. Mass of the floating solid, you can write mass of the liquid displaced by the floating body. That you can write mass equal to volume into density. That you can write volume of liquid displaced by the body into density of liquid. So volume of the liquid displaced, you can write F into V, where V is the volume of the floating body. I denote density of the liquid, suppose by dl or d. So V is the volume of the floating solid. F is the fraction of the volume of the body which is immersed below the surface of the liquid. Here mass of the floating body is the constant according to the problem. The volume of the floating solid is also assumed to be, can be assumed to be constant. That means the expansion of the solid is negligible compared to the expansion of liquid in the present example. So mass by volume, that gives you the density of the floating solid, that can be assumed to be same at both the temperatures in the present question. So if density of the liquid at T degree centigrade, you can write density of the liquid at 0 degree centigrade by 1 plus gamma T. Because M by V is constant, same in both the cases, that is equal to density of the solid. So density of the solid, you can write, floating solid, F into density of the liquid. Density of the floating solid, you can write F into density of the liquid. If the expansion of solid is negligible compared to the expansion of liquid, then density of solid can be assumed to same at both the temperatures, T1 and T2. So at temperature T1, F equal to F1, and density of the liquid at temperature T1 using this formula, you can write, I have discussed earlier in the variation of density with temperature density at 0 degree centigrade, you can write density at 2 degree centigrade 1 plus gamma T. So using that formula, density of liquid at temperature T1, you can write D naught by one plus gamma T1. And density of the liquid temperature T2 can be written as D naught by 1 plus gamma T2. So you can cross multiply and simplify this and find gamma in terms of F1 and F2. So those who want to copy the working of this problem solution, please take a pause and copy the solution. I would like to complete the simplification. So if you cross multiply here, you can write F1 into 1 plus gamma T2, F2 into 1 plus gamma T1. So collect the terms containing gamma to the left hand side. So you get gamma into F1 T2 minus F2 T1, F2 minus F1. So gamma you get answer as F2 minus F1 by F1 T2 minus F2 T1. That's the answer. Some of the students may get a doubt that why not we use the equation D1 equal to D2 into 1 plus gamma into T2 minus T1. As far as numerical problems are considered, you can also solve this problem by another way. That means you can write density at temperature T1 as equal to density at temperature T2 for liquid, 1 plus gamma into T2 minus T1. So you can also use this equation to solve the problem, but you get the answer in a slightly different form. I mean, if you write in letter notation, but if you consider the actual numericals, you get nearly the same answer. But for standard results, I mean, as discussed in some of the standard books earlier, in the case of liquid, density at any temperature above 0 degree centigrade, it is customary to express the density of liquid at higher temperature T degree centigrade in terms of its density at 0 degree centigrade. So for question number 52, which I have just discussed, fourth option is the answer. So look at the question number 53. The weight of a specific gravity bottle is 11 grams. On completely filling it liquid at its weight is 22 grams. The temperature of liquid increased to 80 degrees centigrade. The bottle along with the remaining liquid weighs 21 grams. The coefficient of linear expansion of glass is 9 in 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. Then the coefficient of real expansion of the liquid is. So to find the coefficient of real expansion of the liquid, you have to first find the coefficient of apparent expansion of the liquid. So as I discussed earlier, the specific gravity bottle method to find the volume coefficient of apparent expansion of liquid, the mass of the empty bottle is denoted by W1, which in this case 11 grams. Mass of the bottle along with the liquid before heating is denoted by W2, that is 22 grams. Total mass of the remaining liquid and the bottle after heating denoted by W3, which is given as 21 grams. And the initial temperature of the liquid and bottle before heating is given as 30 degrees centigrade. And the final temperature of the liquid and bottle after heating is 80 degrees centigrade. So use the formula which I discussed earlier. The volume coefficient of apparent expansion liquid, which I have denoted by gamma subscript A, can be written as mass of the liquid expelled divided by mass of the remaining liquid multiplied by increase in the temperature. So mass of the liquid expelled can be written as total mass of liquid in bottle before heating minus total mass of liquid in bottle after heating. That is W2 minus W3. Mass of the remaining liquid can be written as total mass of the bottle and remaining liquid after heating minus mass of the empty bottle. That is W. So substituting the given values, W2 equal 22 grams, W3 is 21 grams. So W3 minus W1 means 21 minus 1 gram, 11 grams. T2 minus T1 is 80 minus 30 degree. So you get 1 by so those who want to copy the solution of the problem, they can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. Still it's not completed. Just calculate the volume quotient of apparent expansion of the liquid, which comes out between 10 power minus 3 per degree centigrade. The calculation is to be continued. Take a pause and finish writing the solution of the problem. So volume quotient of real expansion of the liquid is equal to the volume quotient of apparent expansion of the liquid plus volume quotient of expansion of container. The volume quotient of expansion of the container or bottle you can write 3 alpha. So in this problem, gamma A, that is quotient of apparent expansion 2 in 10 power minus 3 per degree centigrade. Alpha is given to be 9 into 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. So those who want to copy the calculation, they can take a pause and copy the calculation. You can take 10 power minus 3 common outside. So you get volume quotient of real expansion of the liquid is equal to 2.027 into 10 power minus 3 per degree. That's the answer. So for question number 53, which I just discussed, the first option is the answer. So look at the next question, question number 54. Glass bottle when full of mercury weighs 1200 gram initially. When heated through 20 degree centigrade, the weight of mercury expelled is 3 grams. The quotient of volume expansion of mercury is 18 in 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade. And quotient of linear expansion of the body 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade. Then the weight of empty bottle is. This problem is also based on same equation which I have discussed in the previous question. But you are not given W2, W1 and W3 directly. So let us first, you have to first calculate the volume quotient of apparent expansion of the liquid. So we can write volume coefficient of real expansion of the liquid equal to volume coefficient of apparent expansion of the liquid plus 3 alpha, or volume coefficient of apparent expansion of the liquid. You can write volume coefficient of real expansion of the liquid minus 3 alpha. So volume coefficient of real expansion of the liquid is 18 into 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade. And alpha is about 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade. So you can take 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade comma here. So you get volume coefficient of apparent expansion of the liquid. You'll get 15 into 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade. So you are given that total mass of the bottle and liquid before heating as 1200 grams. You are asked to find mass of the empty bottle, as I discussed in the earlier example and also in theory. Mass of the empty bottle will be denoted by W1, which you are asked to calculate. Total mass of the empty bottle along with the liquid which completely fills the bottle before heating is denoted by W2. Total mass of the remaining liquid along with the bottle is denoted by W3. So mass of the liquid expelled can be the total mass of the liquid and bottle before heating minus total mass of the remaining liquid and bottle after heating. That is given as 3 grams. Therefore, you can substitute here W2 equal to 1200 grams on the left side. So you get W3 equal to 1200 minus 3 grams, or 1197 grams. So volume coefficient of apparent expansion of the liquid is equal to mass of the liquid expelled, which you can write W2 minus W3 divided by mass of the remaining liquid. Mass of the remaining liquid equal to total mass of the remaining liquid along with bottle minus mass of empty bottle into increase in temperature, which you write T2 minus T1. So you can substitute all the values now. On the left hand side of the equation, you can substitute gamma apparent equal to 15 in 10 power minus 5 per degree centigrade. And on the right hand side, you can substitute W2 minus W3 equal to 3 grams in numerator. Denominator, you can substitute W3 equal to 1197 grams. And you can substitute T2 minus T1 is the rise in temperature as 20 degrees centigrade. So those who want to copy the solution of the problem, please take a pause and complete copying the solution of the problem. Also try to complete the calculation part or simplification part. If you are unable to get the answer, you can check up your calculation from the next slide. So those who want to copy this simplification part, they can copy the simplification part which I have shown on the screen systematically by substituting all the given values in this equation. Last part of simplification I have written at the bottom. You can take a pause and copy the simplification. So for question number 54, which I just discussed, second option is answer. That is 197 grams. Look at the question number 55. The densities of a liquid at 0 degree centigrade and 100 degree centigrade respectively are 1.0127 and 1. From this you can find the volume quotient of real expansion of the liquid. Basic gravity bottle is filled with 300 grams of liquid at 0 degree centigrade up to the brim, and it is heated to 100 degree centigrade. Then the mass of the liquid expelled in gram is quotient of a linear expansion of glass equal 9 and 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. So we have this problem is also based on same experiment, that is determination of quotient of apparent expansion of the liquid by the specific gravity bottle method. For this we have to first calculate the volume quotient of apparent expansion of the liquid, and before that we have to find the volume quotient of absolute expansion of the liquid. So really given in 2003 MSET, conducted in AP in the past, in engineering paper, 2003 MSET engineering. Now you can write density of liquid at temperature T1 is equal to density of liquid at temperature T2 into 1 plus gamma into T2 minus T1. Here density T1 is 0 degree centigrade. Density at first temperature 0 degree centigrade is 1.0127. Density of liquid at second temperature 100 degree centigrade is given as 1. You can write D2 equal to 1. So it is understood that units of density are 1 gram per cubic centimeter or same units in both the cases. So units of density get cancelled on both sides of the equation. So T2 is 100 degree centigrade, T1 is 0 degree centigrade. So from this you can find the volume quotient of real expansion of the liquid. So 1.0127 minus 1, you can write 0.0127. So volume quotient of real expansion of the liquid, you get 127 into 10 to the power of minus 6 per degree centigrade. So volume we can write here, volume quotient of real expansion of the liquid, volume quotient of apparent expansion of the liquid plus 3 alpha. So volume quotient of apparent expansion of the liquid is equal to volume quotient of real expansion of the liquid minus 3 alpha. So gamma real is 127 into 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. And alpha is for the bottle given to be 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. So you can take alpha is 9 into 10 power minus 6. So 3 into, should write 9 here also. If you take 10 power minus 6, 3 9s are 27. Take 10 power minus 6 common. Alpha equal 9 into 10 power. That is, you have to write 3 alpha, 3 into 9 into 10 power minus 6. You write here 9. So that if you simplify this, you will get volume quotient of apparent expansion of the liquid as 10 power minus 4 per degree centigrade. So those who want to copy the solution of the problem up to this step, please take a pause and copy the solution. I have not completed the solution of the problem. I would like to continue the working in the next slide. Say here you are given the mass m1 of the liquid which completely fills the bottle before heating at 300 grams. You are asked to find mass of the liquid expelled. That means you have to find m1 minus m2. You can denote m1 minus m2 by x. See, that is mass of the liquid expelled. So M2 can be written in terms of M1 and X, because M1 is given the problem, X is required. M2 is the mass of remaining liquid, you can write M1 minus X. So the gamma apparent, I will substitute the given values in the last step for convenience of simplification. So gamma apparent, you can write X by M2 is M1 minus X. T2 is 100 degree centigrade, T1 is 0 degree centigrade. Or T2 minus T1 are denoted by delta T. That is the increase in temperature of the liquid, that is 100 minus 0 degree centigrade or 100 degree centigrade. So we can solve for X here the general way first. So gamma apparent in M1 into delta T cross multiplying, and as X into gamma apparent into delta T equal to X. So if we take the terms containing X to the one side of the equation and solve for X. So X is represent the mass of the liquid expelled. You can write it as M1 into gamma apparent into delta T by 1 plus gamma apparent into delta T. So here X M1 is 300 grams. Gamma apparent equal 10 power minus 4 per degree centigrade, and delta T is 100 degree centigrade. So this can be simplified. You get 3 gram by 1.01. That's the answer. So those who want to copy the simplification or working, please take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 55, which I just discussed, second option is answer. Look at the next question, 56. The apparent coefficient of expansion of liquid when heated in a copper vessel is C, and when heated in a silver vessel is S. A is the linear coefficient of expansion of copper, then the coefficient of linear expansion of silver is. So the volume coefficient of real expansion of the liquid can be written as volume coefficient of apparent expansion of the liquid plus 3 alpha, where alpha is the coefficient of linear expansion of the vessel. So the volume coefficient of real expansion depends only on the nature of the liquid and does not depend on the nature of the vessel. But volume coefficient of apparent expansion of the liquid depends both on the nature of the liquid as well as the nature of the vessel. So in the first case, when the liquid is taken with a copper vessel, gamma apparent is C, and alpha for copper is denoted by A. Therefore, volume coefficient of real expansion of the liquid can be written as C plus 3A. Now with silver vessel, the volume coefficient of apparent expansion of the liquid is denoted by S. And the volume coefficient of real expansion of silver you have to find. I denoted by alpha subscript S. So again use the same equation, because the volume coefficient of real expansion is a constant for given liquid. It is same in both cases. Gamma real can be written as using the same equation for second case. S plus 3 alpha for silver. But the volume coefficient of real expansion is same in both the cases. So you can equate the value of gamma real in the two cases. That means left hand side of the two equations are equal, 1 and 2. So right hand side must also be equal. So S plus 3 alpha for silver equals C plus 3A. So you can simplify this further. So I can calculate the value of alpha per cylinder. So those who want to copy the solution of the problem, they can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 56, which I just discussed, second option is answer. This question was also given one of the previous MSET exam papers. Look at the question number 57. This comes under one of special cases I have discussed in the past. This question was given one of the previous IIT JEE entrance exam papers, and same question is also, as it is, has been given one of the MSET exam papers at later stages, the later years. A horizontal tube open at both ends contain a column of liquid. The length of the liquid column, this liquid column does not change with temperature. That gamma is equal to coefficient of volume expansion liquid and alpha is equal to coefficient of layer expansion material tube. Find gamma in terms of alpha. So in case I have discussed this in one of the special cases. So remember that special case I have discussed, you can directly write the answer. Otherwise, I will again discuss the calculation for this, because some of you may not remember the conclusion I have discussed in the special case. So volume of the liquid in the tube, the same control applies whether tube is horizontal or vertical. L is the length of the liquid, for example mercury, that may be trapped between inside a capillary tube. So volume of the liquid at higher temperature can be the volume of the liquid at lower temperature, 1 plus gamma real for the liquid into T2 minus T1. So volume of the liquid, you can write product of area of cross section of the liquid into length of the liquid column. So initial volume of the liquid at initial temperature T1 is denoted by V1, which you can write A1L1. A1L1. V to the final volume of the liquid, final temperature T2, you can write A2L2, where A1 is the area of cross section of the tube at the initial temperature T1, and A2 is the area of cross section of the tube at final temperature T2. L1 is the length of the liquid column at the initial temperature T1, and L2 is the length of the liquid column at final temperature T2. Here length of the liquid column does not change. That means L2 and L1 are equal. So if L2 is equal to L1, then L2 and L1 can be cancelled. You can write A2 equal to A1, 1 plus gamma real for the liquid into T2 minus T1. But for the tube or solid, you can write final area of cross section A2 is equal to initial area of cross section A1 into 1 plus beta into T2 minus T1. So if the left hand side is same, if we equate the right hand sides and simplify this, you get volume coefficient of real expansion of the liquid is same as beta. Beta is the coefficient of aerial expansion of the tube or container. So volume coefficient of real expansion of the liquid is same as beta. Beta is the coefficient of aerial expansion of the tube that you can write to alpha. So the answer is gamma for liquid, absolute coefficient of expansion of liquid, to alpha. So for question number 57, which I just discussed now, second option will be the answer. Look at the question number 58. Sphere of radius r and mass m floats in a bath of liquid. As the temperature increases, the sphere begins to sink at a temperature T degrees centigrade. The expansion of sphere is negligible and density of liquid at 0 degree centigrade is D. And the coefficient of cubical expansion of the liquid is. So, density of solid can be assumed to be constant if the expansion of solid is neglected. So, density of sphere, the liquid, the sphere sinks into the liquid when density of the liquid at becomes same as the density of sphere. So initially the solid floats in the liquid at 0 degree centigrade. That means density of the liquid, density of sphere is less than the density of liquid at 0 degree centigrade. So density of liquid at T degree centigrade, you can write density of the liquid at 0 degree centigrade by 1 plus gamma real for the liquid into T, expressed in degree centigrade. Density of sphere, you can write mass of the sphere by volume of sphere. Mass of sphere is m, volume of sphere you can write 4 by 3 pi r cube. So density of the liquid at 0 degree here. So 1 plus gamma T can be written as 4 pi by 3 r cube into D by m. So from this you can solve for gamma. So those who want to copy the solution of the problem, they can take a pause and complete copying the solution of the problem. So for this, question number 58, which I have just discussed now, second option will be the answer. So for question number 58, third option is the answer. Then look at the next question, question number 59. This also comes under one of special cases I have discussed. Question number 59 and 60, they are related to same problem. Look at the question number 59. Glass vessel is partially filled with mercury, and when both are heated, the volume of the unfilled part of the vessel remains constant at all temperatures. The initial volume of mercury, if the empty part measured 34 cubic centimeter is. The volume coefficient of volume expansion of mercury is 18 10 power minus 5, and you have to take also as, I think by mistake it's not, alpha is not typed there, so write the value of alpha also there. Alpha equal to, that is alpha for the bottle glass vessel, is 9 into 10 power minus 6 per degree centigrade. So let V be the original volume of the vessel before heating. And let X denote original volume of mercury in the vessel before heating. So original volume of the unfilled part of the vessel. That is the volume of the vessel not occupied by mercury, V minus X. So let V dash be the volume of the vessel at higher temperature and X dash be the volume of mercury at higher temperature. So volume of the unfilled part of the vessel at higher temperature is V dash minus X dash. That is same as V minus X, because it is given that the volume of the unfilled part of the vessel remains constant at different temperatures, and which is given as 34 cubic centimeter. So from this you can write original volume of the vessel as X plus 34 cubic centimeter. Now from same equation you can write V dash minus V equal to X dash minus X. V dash minus V is the increase in the volume of the vessel. And X dash minus X is the actual or real increase in the volume of mercury or liquid. So actual increase the volume of the vessel, you can write the volume coefficient of expansion of the vessel into original volume of the vessel into increase in temperature. Increase in the volume of the mercury can be volume coefficient of real expansion of the liquid into original volume of the liquid, which are denoted by X into delta T. Gamma per vessel can be 3 alpha. So you can write V by X equal to gamma real for the liquid by 3 alpha. Gamma real for the liquid is 18 into 10 power minus 5 per unit. Alpha per vessel is 9 into 10 power minus 6. So I have done similar calculation for the problems before. You get V by X. If you simplify this, you get 20 by 3. Next you can write V equal to 34 cubic centimeter plus X. You can solve this for X. So you get 34 cubic centimeter into 3 equal to 20x minus 3x, 17x. So if you simplify this, you get x equal to 6 cubic centimeter. So you are also in the next question 60, you are asked to find the original volume of the vessel. For question number 59, you will get volume of initial volume of mercury of 6 cubic centimeter. So from starting equation, first equation, you can write volume of vessel X plus 34, that is 6 plus 34, or 40 cubic centimeter. That will be the answer for next question. So for question number 59, which I have just discussed, the second option is answer. So you look at the question number 60 related to same problem. The previous question, initial volume of the vessel is here. For question number 60, which I have also discussed, that is first option will be the answer. So after going through these solutions, I suggest the students to take a break and later they can again go back to the assignment I have shown earlier, where solutions are not shown, and again work out the assignment completely themselves without looking into these solutions for second time.